Thailand population until the year of 2012 from the last 20 years increased about 15%. It increased from 58.3 million to 64.5 million people. The average increase per year is about 0.31 million people. But actually, according to the real conclusion I had, which is getting each year's birth minus death, and average it out, the result is 0.48 million people, of which the final population in 2012 should be around 67.9 million people. As you can see here in the graph, the populations decreased in the year of 2004. The reason is that the Department of Provincial Administration has corrected the files. Something like deleting the duplicated file of each person that are doubled in the system. So that resolves the decreases in the populations. And if according to the data, without the correction of the Department of the Provincial Administration, the population should be about 63.5 million. But due to the correction, it decreased to 61.9 million. From that, we can conclude that the population increased every year in Thailand. As I've calculated the amount of new population from those 20 years, it shows that in 20 years there are about 9.7 million people without the correction of the Department of Provincial Administration. From that 9.7 million, we can average it out to around 455,000 more population in our country per year. And for the hypothesis testing, I chose to test whether there is more birth than death in Thailand or not in each year, with 0.05 as the level of significance. The condition I got is that we will accept the hypothesis if the population growth is more than negative 35,440 people. And according to my data, I take the death average to minus from the birth average, and the result is 458.283 thousand, which is more than negative 35,440. So we can conclude that the hypothesis is correct, and for that we can accept the hypothesis is true. And for the regression, it's really difficult to do regression for my topic due to the fact that the population number is a lot larger than that the year. The year difference is only one for each year, and that made my graph quite a straight line. As you can see here, the y value is all the same, and I do not think that it works for my topic to do regression. On the other hand, if I divided the population number by 1,000, it will show some difference in the data. Even that happens, but it's only less than 0.001 for each year. As a conclusion, I'm summarizing the data I've collected and calculated. I don't think that we have to calculate the average of the population, so I'm going to add to the average of births, the average of deaths, and the average of the birth minus death. The average of birth I got from these 20 years statistics is 834,960. The average of the death I got is 349,677. The average of the birth minus death is 485,282, which conclude that every year there will be more population in Thailand each year. Even though it appears to be like that, but the growth rate, the average growth rate for the birth is negative and 1.07%. On the other hand, the growth rate of the death is 1.85%. If this continues for a long time, some year, the bird population will be lesser than the dead population, which will cause the population in Thailand to decrease. Still, from the hypothesis testing, we can still accept if the bird minus dead population is at least negative 35,440 per year.